couple disclaimers. One, I played the second beta for about 3 hours on stream max, and I was like, this game is dog, frankly. I didn't like how it felt. But then I also said in the same video that it mostly came from I didn't understand the game, and you couldn't really try the game besides playing matches. We have the entire cast, even though I haven't done story mode yet, but we have the entire cast available now. We have training mode. I've been playing a lot. I've been playing a lot of people, so I feel like I can at least give better early impressions of the game. So what do I like about this game? So this game, the characters are all like really strong. So I don't like that much for tournaments, but playing for fun in my room on stream, you know, it's been fun. I'm having fun, you know, memeing, doing silly stuff, doing random silly comebacks, things like that. Yeah, so I don't know how much this is like the actual DFO game, like the original game is based on, but the system is kind of interesting. One of the things I like the most about the system is that you have not only do you have all your resources at the beginning of the game, you naturally regenerate resources, and your resources go up as your life goes down. So even though you can like overload and it takes you longer to recharge, one, the game still lets you use that, and two, you get more resources while you're losing. So that's pretty cool. Characters are really different. I know a lot of people have expected me to play certain specific characters like Kunoichi or Swift or whatever. If I'm playing Launcher, she's really different than what I tend to do. And I think everything's represented pretty well. A lot of characters don't just do one thing. Most characters do like two things, which is kind of nice. One thing about Strive is like characters lean in really hard to doing one thing, which is fine. You know, that's like a fine choice, and it makes it easy for people who are getting into the game to be like, oh, this is what I'm supposed to do. But characters do a couple things in this game. So like Launcher zones and does a ton of chip damage and like sets up traps and stuff, which is you know, characters are pretty interesting in that regard. The netcode is really good. Like there's really nothing I say, right? The netcode at this point, I'm not saying we're spoiled. I'm saying we are getting what we deserve, my friends. We're getting what we deserve, the good netcode, right? Pretty much no problems. I've only really had one laggy match, like, period, and I think I have around, like, 200-ish matches online. Nothing to say but good things about the netcode so far. It definitely helps that the game is not, like, a fast game. Like, there's a lot of stuff going on, but the game is not necessarily fast. It's definitely a weird thing about the game where like GG is like a pretty fast game, and then like you have like Street Fighter or Grand Blue, which are like not fast games, where like this game is trying so hard to be a fast game, but everything is like really animated and like long total durations and stuff. But that brings me into what I don't like about the game. So one is the high character power. So right now it's fun because nobody has optimized stuff, but I think once people really build out situations, I will not have so much fun, and it'll be like kind of degen. There's already a couple characters where I'm like, this is so obnoxious to play. And like, you know, in Guilty Gear, we have characters that are really strong, and it's obnoxious. Every fighting game has obnoxious stuff. But it's like just the tolerance, like how willing are you to deal with this, and how much does the game give you to help fight it? I don't think the game gives you too much, but I also, again, this is pretty early, it's just early feelings. Another thing, and this is a huge, massive, unbelievably massively huge complaint I have. It's actually the command interpreter. I said the buffer, but it's the command interpreter that really makes me mad. The main one that comes up more than anything else. This game has simple inputs and motion inputs. I actually should go to training mode to show you this, actually. The inputs themselves are pretty simple, but specifically for special moves, you can choose to input them using easy inputs, simple inputs, or you can choose to input them with motion input. So for example, I have Big Gun #1, right? I could do it with forward and special move, or core circle forward and special move, right? So the difference between the two is that if I do forward and special move, it takes a little bit to recharge, where if I do it with the normal input, it recharges immediately. So it gives you a little reward for doing it with the motion input. So most people are like, okay, if I want to like regen my meter faster, I need to do it like that. But because of that though, inputs overlap. And honestly, the main one that overlaps is the one that's your invisible reversal. It's this. So this is a 2D, so crouching special move. To do it normally, for normal input, you have to do the traditional DP input, right? So 6-2-3, forward, down, down, forward. But because of the way the game accepts inputs, I get this a lot. I mean, it's a little bit my fault because I'm doing it too fast, but also the inputs overlap. So there are a lot of times where I try to do like this, but because I was on like 3 for a second too long or something, I get like this instead of this. I have lost many games to this. You know, if I just slow down a little bit, I gotta get used to like slowing down. But the main thing is that the inputs overlap. That has been super obnoxious. It's probably been the most annoying thing about playing this game, has been that more than anything else, honestly. Those are really my 2 issues with the game. So the character power thing is going to be such a big thing that I already know I'm not competing in this game. You know, I have enough gray hair, right? Like, you know, even though I came out this way, like this out the womb, I played enough super stressful games in tournament. You know, like, I kind of don't want to do this to myself again. So even though I'm going to play for fun, and I'm going to compete for a little bit, I'm not planning on grinding the game. But I do think we needed this again. Like, there's some people who really like this flavor of game. And recently in modern fighting games, they've been, for better or worse, it depends on who you talk to, they've been toning down the strength of stuff in fighting games in multiple ways. I generally think it's for the better, but there are a bunch of people who think it's bad that they're doing that and it like takes the flavor away from the game. So we did need a game like this that had, for those people. It's been like pretty fun to play. We'll see how it goes as the game develops. I haven't looked at the single player mode stuff yet. I heard story mode only takes 30 minutes to an hour and you unlock a character. There's all your standard single player stuff. I do want to give a shout out actually to the tutorial, as I mentioned the day the game came out. It's how I learned like combos, at least the basic combos for day 1, and they are actually useful combos that you use all the time. It gives you a feel of how things connect and how things work. It tells you what your character does. Everything here gives you like a nice little overview on what the character does at a baseline. And I mean, these characters really be doing what the game tells you. Like, Guilty Gear kind of started with this, but I don't really think it gave you too much. I basically think in Guilty Gear like Season 3, they'll make a new tutorial that'll have like combos and stuff. The mission mode was amazing, but it doesn't give you too much about how to actually play your character. It teaches you more about how to play Guilty Gear in general. For this one, it gives you a nice like, here's Crusader, here's what he does, here's combos that you can use right now, and they give you the simple inputs too. If you watch me play, you see me use this quite often. It's a mid-screen combo. I don't really think she has anything but this in mid-screen unless you have like conversion or something. But it's yes, I still use this combos. I honestly still use this combo. It's just a tutorial combo, but it's a good combo. So they did a really good job with that. So far the game's pretty fun. Whether or not it's you want to spend another $50, I mean, it's up to you. You know, if you're into a game that has a lot of room for figuring stuff out and enforcing your game plan, has really strong tools and characters, then this is probably up your alley. But if you're not into that, I'll say try it anyway, just to see like what your tolerance is. I think it's good for that too. If like you're kind of a newer player and you don't know what's up. Again, this game, the devs that made this game have made a lot of very high character powered games. So I would say check this out. If you can tolerate this, then you could probably tolerate worse than this. You know what I'm saying?